You know that feeling like you're swimming upstream with all your might, but you're not really getting anywhere? Well, today we're going to talk about a pretty simple but powerful idea that can completely change that. The art of letting go.
Seriously, just think about that for a second. That feeling of pushing against a door that's clearly marked pull is just exhausting, isn't it? That tension you feel inside, that's exactly what we're going to dive into.
So where does all that tension really come from? Well, it all boils down to what we can call the weight of control. And believe me, it's a burden that is way heavier than most of us ever realize.
This is such a simple but powerful truth. You know that friction you feel, maybe in your job or in your relationships, or even just trying to get through the day? It's so easy to think it's the world pushing back against us. But what if, just what if, we're the ones creating all that resistance by trying to bend reality to our will?
This slide really just lays it all out, doesn't it? It shows the two paths we can take. When we're stuck in that forcing life mode, everything feels like a battle. You're hit with resistance, which just fuels this constant low-level anxiety. It's a never-ending struggle. But then look at the other side. When we shift into flowing with life, it's a total game changer. Resistance just melts into acceptance. That anxiety, it's replaced with clarity. And the struggle, it turns into this surprising sense of ease. I mean, the choice seems obvious, but learning how to make that shift, well, that's the real art.
So if forcing things is the problem, the solution has to be the exact opposite, right? This brings us to the real heart of the matter, mastering the art of letting go.
And it is so important to get what letting go really means. It is not about being apathetic. It's not about giving up on your dreams or your goals. Nope. It's just about releasing that white-knuckle grip you have on exactly how things need to happen. It's an active surrender to right now, to the present moment, which is the only place you can ever really live.
This quote just nails it. We're always taught that to get clarity, we need to plan more, analyze more, control every little thing, but let's be honest, that usually just makes us more confused, right? Real clarity, that quiet feeling of knowing the right next step, that doesn't come from force. It comes when we finally stop fighting with reality and just accept what is.
And you know what? If we need a teacher to show us how to do this, we really don't have to look very far. Let's just turn to the wisdom of nature. It's the ultimate master of effortless power and letting go.
So let's start with one of the most powerful ideas from the natural world. Be like water.
I mean, really think about what that means. When a stream comes to a giant boulder, does it try to smash through it? No way. It just flows around it. It doesn't fight the shape of the cup you pour it into. It just becomes the cup. This shows us that being yielding isn't a weakness. By always finding that path of least resistance, water eventually carves entire canyons. That is the incredible, undeniable power of flow.
And what's another one of our great teachers from the natural world? You got it, the wind.
Just think about it. You can't grab the wind in your fist. You can't order it where to go. And yet, its gentle, unstoppable power moves sailboats across oceans and shapes landscapes over time. It's the perfect metaphor for having influence without needing control. It's a reminder that we can create huge change without having to micromanage every single detail.
Okay, so being like water and wind sounds beautiful and poetic, but how do we actually apply that to our busy, modern, sometimes chaotic lives? How do we take this from a nice idea to something we actually do and start finding our own flow?
Well, they can start with this really simple three-step practice. First, just observe. Just notice your thoughts. Notice the situations you're in without slopping a label on them like good or bad. Just see them. From there, you can accept. And listen, this doesn't mean you have to like it. It just means you acknowledge that this is reality right now. And finally, you start to trust. You cultivate this quiet confidence that even if your hands aren't on the steering wheel, you can handle whatever comes your way.
And let me be really clear on this point. Letting go is not about doing nothing. It's not about being passive. It's about shifting where your actions come from. So instead of taking frantic action that's driven by fear, you start taking inspired action that comes from a place of clarity and intuition. It's amazing. When you finally stop fighting the current, you can actually see where it's trying to take you.
Ultimately, this whole practice really just boils down to trust. Trusting in yourself, trusting that you are resilient enough to handle whatever happens, and trusting in the flow of life, that there's a natural current that can actually carry you forward if you just let it. Look, it's not easy. This is a practice of real courage. So I'll leave you with this one question to take with you. And it doesn't have to be some huge life-altering thing. Maybe it's just a tiny grudge you're holding on to,
or an expectation for how this afternoon is supposed to go, or even just the need to control your next conversation? What is one small thing you can consciously decide to release your grip on right now? Because the art of not forcing things, it starts with that one single, simple choice. Thanks so much for listening.